Hey there, good morning. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late this morning. I was trying to get everything arranged and going and just had a tough not seeing it on the agent page. I'm not seeing it yet. So I'm not sure what's watching it. Are you watching it on the or yeah, this morning is on. Hang on one second. Melanie, is that a little better? Is that any better at all? How's that sound? Does that sound better? I turned it off, turned it back on. Does that sound better? I'm not sure what's going on. We're having some StreamYards really being weird this morning. Okay, good. All right. Where are you guys watching? Are y'all on the Nation page or are you guys on the Good morning, Lynn. I don't see it on our agent page. Let me look and see. Good morning, Kristen. How are you? Let's see if it's on this. I was having an issue this morning when I got it set up. Where are you guys watching it? You're on the agent page? Okay. For some reason, I can't see it, so I'm not sure what's going on. And it was giving me an issue this morning when I was trying to get the call set up, and it was telling me that I couldn't, that they were having an issue connecting to the agent page, and it kept giving me an error message. So I kept restarting it, and it kept giving me an error. So let me go over here one more time. Sorry, y'all. It happens sometimes. Technology is fantastic until it's not. Yeah, I'm not seeing it on the. It's weird. I'm not able to see it on the agent page. Huh? Weird. I can't see it. So we're just gonna keep on rocking. Let's just go. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's acting this way. But it's not allowing me to see it on the agent page. But y'all are saying you're seeing it on the agent page, so that's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm coming out. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not. Sorry, operator error. All right. Well, let's get rolling. If I can figure this thing out and get us rolling in the right direction, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic morning. But the reason I can't see it is because I'm logged into Exit Realty Lake Country's page. I'm not logged into my page. Y'all, I am struggling this morning. Hey, y'all talk amongst yourselves. Go call your friends and tell them we're live this morning. Tell them to get out of the bed. So y'all hang tight real quick. All right, here we go. I think we're back. I think we're good. I am finally squared away. So good morning. Let's start this thing again. Good morning. Welcome to Thursday. Welcome to October the 5th. Welcome to another fantastic day for us to really, really do magnificent things. I'm super excited to be here. Obviously, if you're watching this now, you guys are on here this morning. Melanie, Teal, Lynn, and Kristen. Good morning. Happy to have you guys here. So happy to be here with you again this morning. It is a beautiful day. It is a fantastic morning, and I think we've got some really cool things to talk about. And I want to say it's a carryover from yesterday a little bit. I want to say that this is a little bit of a maybe a continuation of yesterday. I read a couple of things this morning that sort of led me to believe that we're on the right track. That this is something. I mean, you guys, the 18 of you who went to came up to Tennessee 2 days ago. One of the things that was mentioned over and over and over again is one of the things that we're missing is structure. One of the things that we're missing is what do we do on a daily basis? One of the things that we're missing is how do we time block our schedules? How do we set aside times that so that we can get done what needs to get done? And of course, I use the example of picking up a kid at school. If you got a kid to pick up at school, I don't care what you're doing, you're going to leave whatever it is that you're doing and go pick up your kid, because when it's time to go pick up your kid, that's sort of one of those responsibilities that you can't overlook. That's one of those responsibilities that you can't look past, and you can't hope for the best in that situation. You actually have to go pick your kid up. So I use that as an example in the van ride the other day, and of course Christy said, "Hang on a second, I don't want to get off on a rabbit trail. That's not what I'm talking about." So now I get to be on my rabbit trail, and I get to go down this rabbit trail with you. And because I think it's super super important to understand that time blocking and this our challenge to structure our days in an environment of y'all, for lack it's not structured. There's nothing structured about the real estate business for you, those of you who are realtors, those of you who are entrepreneurs, those of us who go out every single day and have to go shake bushes and climb trees and chop coconuts and go out in the woods and kill the animal and bring it back. There's really no structure to this. We sort of have a starting time, we sort of have an end time, and then everything in between that is sort of dependent on, we believe, everybody else. So yesterday, just an example. So I had a listing appointment yesterday, and I was going to go talk to a guy about a house, and I set that appointment last week after I talked to him on the phone, and of course he rescheduled. Of course he canceled the day of, and when I called him to verify I'm coming to the appointment, he's like, let's put it off. Okay, are you still selling? Yeah, I'm still selling. Nothing back. So his level of his level of want to is different than my level of want to, right? His level of have to hasn't reached, or his level of want to hasn't reached his level of have to yet. And that's kind of what I want to talk about this morning is what's the difference between want to and have to? What's the difference between that? And I'm just going to jump into it because these mornings when I'm in Tennessee, I don't have the amount of time that I have when I'm in Georgia, just because I got to take Jagger to school. So I want to go ahead and jump in this thing and get rolling. So this morning I want to talk about the difference between want to and have to. I'm going to bring in some things that it's amazing how this works. Bring in some things that I just read this morning from this Everyday Hero Manifesto. Bring in some things that this consciousness, this thing that's out there, and trying to bring it into Exit Realty Lake Country, trying to bring it into your life through this call this morning, trying to share with you a little bit of this morning as we go through as you go through your day, trying to give you something to stand on to create some new have tos. So I want you to think about it. So I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to give you guys a chance to answer this. What's the difference between want to and have to? In your mind and in your words, with your emotions, what's the difference for you between want to and have to? And type your comments in there. I think this is gonna be a great conversation. What's the difference between want to and have to? Good morning, Carrie. I didn't see your good morning message, but good morning. Desire versus need. Okay, not bad. Difference between want to and have to. Everybody answer. I want you to hear this. Okay, Teal says need based versus desire based. Okay, need versus desire, kind of the same thing. Want to and have to. Come on, Lynn. Melanie, I know Lynn's typing. Melanie, type. Difference between want to and have to. Ba, 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 ba. Thanks, Carrie, for that. I just haven't figured out how to have it. I need to load that in here so I can use that on the stream. I'm just afraid if I put it on the stream, they're going to shut me down. So Lynn says sometimes procrastinating overrides my want to, but when it comes to something I have to, I can't procrastinate. I have to get it done. Okay. So sometimes procrastinating overrides my want to, but when it comes to something I have to, I can't procrastinate. It's got to get done. Okay. Kristen Ritchie says, I look forward to doing what I want to do, and I always feel that way with the things I have to do. Ooh, so let's look at this one. I look forward to doing what I want to do. I don't always feel that way with the things that I have to do. Okay. So there's an emotional component between a want to and a have to. Would you guys agree with that? That there's a place where our comfort is based on an emotional quotient between a want to and a have to, correct? How many of you take for granted that you breathe? How many of you woke up this morning concerned about taking a breath? Most of us get up in the morning, most of us don't ever think about breathing. When we open up our eyes, it's kind of an automatic thing. Now, I think there are some people on the planet who have a sign beside their bed that reminds them to wake up and breathe because they're not quite as smart as other people in the world. But most of us don't have to be reminded to breathe. It's just something we do. Yet, if someone was choking you, if you had something caught in your throat, if an elephant was laying on your chest, your overriding desire would be, I have to catch a breath. I have to catch one breath. I've got to be able to breathe. You then go from a place of an automatic, something you never think about, to a place of, I've got to have one breath. I've got to do whatever it takes to catch my breath. I've got to do whatever it takes to catch one breath so I can keep living. So you go from a place of automaticity, you go from this place of something that just happens automatically to this place of desperation. And it's simply a result of the pressure put on this automatic behavior. So you have an automatic behavior of breathing. You get some external pressure that puts pressure on this automatic behavior. And then this automatic behavior turns into, uh-oh, I've got to catch my breath. Uh-oh, I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. So then you become desperate in your attempt to catch your breath. Are y'all following me? Can you kind of feel that emotion in that process? So something that's automatic, acted on by external pressure, then creates for us a desperation to have to go back to this automatic behavior. What's the difference between a want to and a have to? Because I want to breathe. I want to keep breathing. And breathing's so easy that it just comes naturally to me. It's just an automatic thing. It's this weird deal that God did that just makes breathing automatic. But if my breathing gets acted on by some external force, that automatic behavior, that my thoughts, my desires, my want to changes based on my desperation. So yesterday I talked about being casual. Yesterday I talked about being casual versus being dedicated, being casual versus being focused. And I'm gonna go back to what I first said this morning. We all of us, as entrepreneurs, as real estate agents, as mortgage brokers, as all the people that we are in this business, we all struggle with the challenge of time blocking. We all struggle with the challenge of prioritizing our behaviors. We all struggle with putting, most of us struggle with doing this. The difference between want to and have to. What if you were the only income in your family? You couldn't work a W-2 job. You couldn't go out and do anything else. That your real estate career was the only thing that was going to help your child eat in the morning. Your real estate career was the only thing that was going to put food on your table, clothes on your kid's back, keep your lights on your house. Your real estate business was the only thing that was going to provide the income to sustain your family. Would that change your level of desire? What if it was all on you? Would that change your level of desire? See, but for most of us, especially those of us who come from a y'all, I did this for years. I was so afraid of the unknown that I stayed in a W-2 job. I worked 8 to 5. I worked 3 to 11. I worked 11 at night to 7 in the morning. I did that for years and years and years. I kept a W-2 job and I used the excuse to have insurance, that I needed to have insurance. I use the excuse that paycheck comes every 2 weeks. Security. Coach Bird talked about this the other day. Security. And I wish I had my notes here, but security comes with limitations. When you are secure in an environment, it's typically in a house, locked up, closed up. It's typically in a fenced area. It's typically in an area that's closed off and locked off to things on the outside. That's when we feel most secure, when we're closed off and locked off from the outside. And so when we feel secure, we actually limit our ability to get outside those fences. We actually limit our ability to be free. So there is a balance between security and freedom. And so when I look at an entrepreneur, when I look at you guys, and I go back to these conversations in the van, and we have these conversations, what would be the most important thing to your business is the hardest thing for you to do. The great chasm between want to and have to. Because see, when you get to the point of have to, nothing stands in your way. When you're desperate for a breath, you will do anything in your power to get a breath. You will punch, fight, claw, kill, whatever you got to do. That survival mechanism cranks up in you, and you will do whatever it takes to get a breath. Something that was once automatic is now being taken away, and then your emotions change, your mind changes, your desperation level changes, and you start to ramp up your want to get a breath, your have to get a breath. It goes from want to have to, and you'll do whatever it takes to get a breath. In this business, in what you're doing right now, in creating this thing, a lot of us, our want tos are bigger than our have tos. We want to be successful. We want to have financial freedom. We want to leave a legacy for our kids. We want to make $100,000. We want to make $200,000. We want all these things, but it's not a have to yet for us. It's not a have to yet for you. It's not a have to yet. You don't want it bad enough. You don't want it like you want to breathe when you're being choked out. You don't want it bad enough that you have it no matter what. You don't want it bad enough. You've got to get from want to have to. Creating this thing for you that creates that freedom for your family, creating this thing for you that creates this legacy for your children, creating this thing for you that leaves these things behind, that provide you. I had multiple conversations yesterday with agents here in Mount Juliet yesterday, and I kept hearing the same thing. I kept hearing the same thing. You want to help more people, then have more opportunity. You want to help more people, then have more resources. You want to be bigger in your community, then make yourself bigger. Your have to has got to get bigger than your want to. Because there's not enough emotion, Kristen Ritchie, behind want to. Because we let want to, if I feel like it, I'll do it. If I don't feel like it, I'm going to procrastinate, Lynn Grizzle. I know I need to do 2 hours of prospecting. I know I need to call my old leads. I know I need to follow up with my past clients. I know I need to take this person to dinner. I know I need to take this person to lunch. I know Aaron says I need to build a dirty dozen. I know he says I need to get Boomtown done. I know, I understand, and I really want to. Man, this Coach Burt thing sounds really, really great. Oh my gosh, it sounds so fantastic. I really want to. Matter of fact, I want to so bad I'm going to stand up and I'm going to say I'm going to do it. But when Coach Burt says it's time to start Monster Producer, when Coach Burt says it's time to come do a boot camp, when Aaron and Christy say we're doing an event, when all those things happen, if our have to isn't bigger than our want to, then other things take priority. Yeah, but I really want to, but I know I committed to this, but I feel really bad, but any of those things resonate with y'all? You ever had those conversations with you? Because a lot of us let the people closest to us in our lives distract us from our have tos because we live our lives in want to. Because we live our lives and want to, because we live our lives being sort of lukewarm. If I do it, great. If I procrastinate, it's not a big deal. If I feel like doing it, I'll do it. If I don't feel like I'm not doing it, if I don't feel like it, I'm not going to do it. Because we live our lives that way, sometimes the people close to us don't understand our level of commitment. That's why Natalie wrote that book, Living with a Monster. You don't think Coach Burst, I mean, you could say what you want to about people who are super dedicated to their cause, but when you throw arrows and stones about people who are out doing big stuff, who are super dedicated to their cause, guess who throws arrows and stones at them? The people who aren't dedicated to their cause, the people whose want tos are not as big as their have tos. Anybody listening? Anybody here? How do we make your want tos bigger than your have tos? Or your have tos bigger than your want tos? Sorry, I said that the wrong way. How do you get your have tos bigger than your want tos? Because I promise you, there's going to come a time when Coach Burt, all of you that signed and came 2 days ago that said, "Hey, I'm doing this. I'm going to spend my money, and I am in front of my peers committing to doing this training." I promise you, there's going to be a Monday when it's not going to be convenient. Y'all look at these calls. There are probably less than 10 people on these calls. I don't know who watches it during the day, but this thing that used to have 15, 16, 18, 20 people on it now has six, five. Now if I stopped doing the calls, if we stopped doing these and we took these away, then everybody would want them. You'd all want me to do it again. You'd all say, "No, Aaron, keep doing them. Keep doing the calls. We love these calls." Right? But if I took it away, then that creates your want to. So a lot of people that get on these calls, they don't have to anymore. They've heard it before. It's all the same. They have loads of it. It's early in the morning. Don't want to get up. I can listen to it later. But understand, we don't do these calls at 10 o'clock in the morning for a reason. We don't do these calls at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a reason. We don't do these calls at 8 o'clock at night for a reason. We do them first thing in the morning for a reason. Because the the fundamental fact is how you start your day is how your day progresses. How you start your day is how your day goes. Do you agree with that? And so getting up, have to get up. I've got to get up and do this. I've got to get up and do this. It's the reminder that you're a realtor. It's the reminder that you're a world changer. It's so much bigger than being a realtor. It's so much bigger than being in real estate. I believe. Now y'all can look at this how you want to look at it but from my perspective, I believe starting this I don't get up and run because I'm going to go be a runner. I don't get up and run because I'm going to go I might run a marathon, but that's not the ultimate goal for me getting up and running. I don't get up and run to make Christy happy. I don't get up and run to make y'all happy. I get up and run because it's a win for Aaron. I get up and go push myself because it's something I don't really want to do. But if I win that 20 minutes, if I win the first 20 minutes of my day, then I can win the next 20 minutes of my day. That if you get up and have this call and you listen to these things and you're engaged and you're paying attention and involved in the conversations here and you're not listening halfway, but you're listening, you're invested in this conversation, there's going to be something that's going to be said that's going to resonate in your spirit, that's going to help you through your day. When you get up at 6:30 Eastern and 5:30 Central, you are winning your day. It sets you up to win your day. This is bigger than just being a real estate agent. This is being a person. This is figuring out how to be a better person. This is figuring out how can I go be a world changer. This is figuring out how can I go operate in that 10% where the other 90% won't go. The difference between want to and have to. If you can reframe your thoughts, because guess what? Your mentor and your accountability partner can't set your schedule for you. Well, I guess they could, but they can't make you follow it. They can set your schedule, but they can't. They can call you and ask you if you've done it. They can call you and ask you if you've done the work. They can call you and ask you if you've done what you're supposed to do, but it doesn't mean you've done it. It's not so in my life, in Aaron Dwyer's life, and me getting up and walking around as a husband, as a father, as a dude, as a business owner, as a real estate owner, as a broker, is all these things, is me getting up and walking through my day. Nobody can make me do anything. I listen, I made I called 20 people, 20 real estate agents yesterday. Do y'all know how bad Aaron Dwyer hates recruiting real estate agents? Hate it. Absolutely hate it. It's the worst thing in the world. It is so much better when you guys have a relationship with somebody and y'all have a conversation with somebody, and then that conversation turns into an invitation to come meet with Aaron and Christy, and then Aaron and Christy get to talk to them, right? It's the difference between calling someone on the street that you have no idea who they are, and then having a neighbor say, "Hey, you need to go use this person to sell your house." It's such a better conversation. When that person calls you to sell their house, it's such a better conversation. Would you agree? Referrals are so much more fun to work than cold calling people. I hate it. I don't want to. And I can find lots of other things to do other than calling real estate agents. But guess what? In our Mount Juliet office right now, we really don't have anybody in place who can multiply our energy. We don't have anybody in place yet who trusts Aaron and Christy enough to take our message out into the marketplace. We don't have enough people in our Mount Juliet office right now to get out and share the Exit Realty Lake Country story. So the only person who can share that story is this guy. I'm the only one. And because I really haven't been dedicated to that, because I really haven't wanted to very much, there haven't been very many phone calls made. And when I have a conversation with Christy, and Christy says to Aaron, hey, you need to call more people. You need to do more in Mount Juliet because Mount Juliet's faltering. And Mount Juliet's not paying the bills. And the Tennessee office isn't doing what it needs to be doing. It's underperforming. You need to do something about that. So when we have that really hard conversation, and basically she gets in my you know what and tells me I'm not doing what I need to be doing, I'm not staying focused and dedicated enough, I need to figure out what I need to go do to make that happen. That's the same conversation as your mentor has with you, new agents. That's the same conversation your accountability partner has with you, existing agents. That's the same conversation that your husband or your spouse or your partner or your girlfriend or your boyfriend has with you when they say to you, do you even want to do this anymore? Is this even worth it? They're saying the exact same thing. So yesterday, my have to got bigger than my want to, Kristen Ritchie. Yesterday, my have to got bigger than my want to. And I took a list and I started calling people. And guess what? I got hung up on by real estate agents. Got hung up on by one. I got told by another one it's none of my business. Why am I asking so many questions? It happens. It happens. My ego, this little dude over here was not happy with some of those conversations. This little dude over here likes a whole lot better when I'm in front of a crowd of people talking and I feel like that people are listening and I feel like I'm having an impact. Little dude over here, he likes those a lot better than calling people on the phone and having them hang up on him. This little dude over here talks mad crap when somebody hangs up on me. This little dude over here talks mad crap when I'm not able to have a conversation with somebody. It's not any different for me than it is for you. It's not any different for you than it is for the people around you. I can I could ask Kristen this right now. Kristen Ritchie, do you get up every single day? She's a nurse by trade. That's what she does as a full-time job. Do you get up every single day with a want to go be a nurse? Do you get up every single day when your shift is about to start? You say, man, I cannot wait to go to work. I really want to go to work. 'Cause I promise you, I was a police officer for almost 13 years, and there were tons of days that I didn't want to go to work. Hell, there were days in my life I didn't want to get out of bed. You ever had those days where you just don't want to get out of bed? But you have to. You have to because people depend on you. So let me give you some insight. I clean out my glasses because I'm 50 and I can't see anymore and it stinks, but it's all good. And I'm gonna use the example again. I do not get up and run because I want to. Because I can assure you I don't want to. I get up and run my first 20 minutes of the day because I have to. I have to because I've got to win that 20 minutes. I've got to win the battle over my ego. I've got to win the battle over my comfort, or because comfort and casual leads to casualty. I said that yesterday. That's a great line from Jim Rohn. Comfort and casual lead to casualty. Because if I stay in the bed and I don't get up and do it, that lack of desire, that lack of commitment, that lack of push, that lack of motivation follows me the rest of the day. And then that day turns into the next day, and the next day turns into the next week, and the next week turns into the next month. And the momentum that creates negative momentum, and that negative momentum creates more negative momentum. That negative momentum erodes my confidence, and the more my confidence gets eroded, the more negative momentum that it produces. Here's where I think our problem lies. I can tell you you're world class all day long. I can tell you you're special all day long. I can pour into you, Christian, I can pour into you and tell you how special you are, what kind of leader you are, what the world needs the most from you, how you're able to change the world around you. We can say this over and over and over and over again. But until you believe it, until you decide it's true, your have to will not be bigger than your want to. And until you believe it, you'll be casual with your conversations. You'll be casual with your behaviors. You'll be casual with your approach to life. You'll be casual in your relationships. You'll be casual in the things that you're doing. And that casual will erode your confidence. That casual approach will take you further and further away from your purpose and eventually create a casualty. If you don't think you have it any if you don't think you have it in you to execute on your vision, if you don't think you have it in you to execute on your visionary venture, you won't seek the mentoring. You won't invest in the learning, and you won't take all the steps needed to realize your fantasy. Because in your mind and heart, a negative ending has always been scripted. I'm gonna read that again. If you don't think you have it in you to execute on your visionary venture, you won't seek the mentoring, you won't invest in the learning, and you won't take all the steps needed to realize your fantasy because in your mind and in your heart, a negative ending has already been scripted. Most of us don't do the want to. Our want to doesn't become a have to because we've already created the excuses. We already believe the ending. We already have the ending in mind. We don't truly believe in our vision. We don't truly believe in our purpose. We don't truly believe in our destination. So the want to never becomes a have to. I get up and run every single morning, not because I love to run. I get up and run every single morning because I know those victories make Exit Realty Lake Country better every single day. And how they make Exit Realty Lake Country better every single day is because they make Aaron Dwyer better every single day. And if Exit Realty Lake Country gets better 1% every single day, we make a 365% improvement in a year. We're able to reach not 50 lives, but 100 lives and their families and all the people that those people impact. We are on the way to becoming that star on top of the hill. I don't run for the sake of running. I run for the sake of victory. I run for the sake of the challenge. I run for the sake of beating down my want to. Because the more I run, the harder the run is, and the more I go do it, the watch how this works. The more I run, the more I face that challenge, the more I do the thing that I don't want to do, guess what happens to the other areas of my life? The other things I don't want to do get so much easier. The other things, calling 20 people during the day ain't that big a deal. Calling 20 agents and making 20 phone calls during the day, the possibility that one or two or three are going to hang up. But guess what? We've got two that we're talking to on Friday because I do the hard thing that I don't want to do every single day consistently. I've said this over and over. Y'all, Robin Sharma says this every single day. He calls it a brain tattoo, and I'm going to read it to you again. Let me find this because he just I was going to highlight it and I didn't highlight it, so I apologize. See if you've heard this before. Robin Sharma says small, daily, seemingly insignificant improvements when done consistently over time lead to stunning results. Small, daily, seemingly insignificant improvements when done consistently over time lead to stunning results. How can you get your want to a have to? How can you get your want to a have to? How do you make that 2 hours of prospecting so unbelievably important to your life, a like breathing have to, that nobody distracts you? That you will that in that 2 hours that you're going to prospect, you are not even thinking about being distracted. That you have dedicated 2 hours of your day, of the 24 hours of your day, you dedicated 2 hours to prospecting with no distractions. When that gets when your have to gets big enough, your spouse will protect that 2 hours. When that have to gets big enough, your kids will protect that 2 hours. When that have to gets big enough, other people in your life will protect it for you because it means so much to you. How do you get from a want to a have to? How can you today do one thing that gets you closer to making this real estate thing a have to, or get you one step closer to smelling that vision, feeling the emotions behind that vision, feeling what it's going to feel like when you achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve being in this business. And if you don't have a goal, a dream, or a vision for yourself in this business, call me. Let's figure that out. Let's start working on that dream. Let's start working on that thing. Let's start putting those pictures in place for you to see it, smell it, touch it, taste it. Let's put that vision in your in your mind's eye and in your heart's eye and in your vision. Let's put that vision and dream out there and make it so real that everything you do, every step you take is a step in the direction of your dreams. Because the worst thing in life, the worst thing in this world, the worst thing on this planet, in your journey around this rock, is having a potential that you don't reach, having a potential that you don't utilize, having a life that you should have touched but you didn't touch because your have to wasn't bigger than your want to. Doing hard things, doing hard things consistently makes the easy things easier. Doing the hard things consistently makes the hard things less difficult. Doing the difficult things over and over and over again makes the easy things easier. We got to go. I got to shut this thing down. I think this is a place that I want to stay and talk about. I think I want to stay and talk about want to versus have to. I think I want to stay and talk about for the next couple of sets just until we get done the difference between casual and dedicated. But here's what I want you today. Here's what I want you to do today. I want you to figure something out today. You know what it is. There's something in your day that you hate doing. In your real estate day, there's something in your real estate day that you hate doing, that it is so uncomfortable. I want you to recognize it. I want you to feel the emotion behind it. and I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. And I want you to put that piece of paper in a place where you can see it when you're starting your real estate day. And then I want you to beat it. And I want you to beat it again. And I want you to defeat it again. And I want you to beat it 5 times. So if it's calling somebody, if your thing that you hate doing is cold calling, then I want you to write, I don't want a cold call. I want you to put that on a piece of paper. I want you to tape that, put it someplace where you can see with your eyes, and then I want you to make 5 cold calls. After that 5th cold call, okay, I want you to take that piece of paper and I want you to wad it up and throw it away. Do the hard thing today. Give it a shot. Watch what happens. Kristen Ritchie, she said she followed up with a prospect from a few weeks ago. She was nervous to call, but when she called him, he was so happy that she called and checked in. Somebody needs to hear from you today. Somebody you don't know needs to hear from you today. So today, I want you to recognize something you hate doing. I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. I want you to stick it somewhere where you're going to do your business today, and then I want you to beat it. I want you to get out of bed at 3:45 in the morning, and I want you to go run for 20 minutes. I want you to go beat it today. And then we're going to do it again tomorrow. We're going to get from want to have to. We're going to make your dream and vision so big that you can't do anything without going in the direction of your dreams. And your have to and your dedication, you're not going to be casual anymore. You're going to be dedicated to it. And you're going to be so dedicated to it that your family, your spouse, the people that support you the most aren't going to throw arrows and stones at you anymore. They're going to get beside you or they're going to get out of the way. Coach Burt wrote a book called This Ain't No Practice Life. This ain't no practice life. We don't get do-overs. I don't care how old you are. I'm 50 years old. I might not have, who knows how much longer I'm going to live. Maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years, maybe 30 years. Hell, it might be 15 minutes. I have no idea. All I know that my have to is bigger than my want to. And I've stopped listening to this dude over here telling me my want tos. I started listening to this thing in here that God gave me to listen to my have tos. Let's keep talking about this. Y'all got have a good day. Have a good day. I got to jump. We got to go. Got to get Jagger to school. I love y'all. I don't know. Yeah, love y'all. Have an awesome day. Find those 5 things. Beat them down today. Beat those 5 things down. Have you a victory today. And I want you to text me today and let me know what you won. Let me know what you beat down. Okay? Love you. Be good. Be great. Be you. Bye, y'all.